trying to leave again. Look at him. Now, they did not go here originally to apprehend busway abusers. What they were doing is pulling the buses forward here at Quezon Avenue because they were actually stacking up. There was around, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 buses in a row that were stuck there. And yes, there is a uniformed personnel that's been apprehended also. The difficulty with riders is that they will often say, I'll just pull forward, I'll pull to the side. And then sometimes they will just run away. So you never know, are they really going to pull the side or are they just going to run away? So that's why as much as possible they want to get the license first and then let you move. It's different now because it's going to be strictly enforced. I can see an MC behind this bus also. Looks like he might have pulled into the private lanes. No, he's still there. They did manage to pull him to the side. And the truth is, a lot of people just got used to finding any space. The bus lane, bike lane, sidewalk, whatever it takes to get ahead. See a car in the background. Is it blue or silver? Looks like he's going to try and change to the regular lanes now. He's probably seen the enforcer. That's what people do. They fly along the bus lane, and then once they see an enforcer, they try to move back. I pray that they catch him. It's a blue car. I can see him with his right indicator light on. It might be much easier to see on camera. You have to remember that the camera is zoomed in, so it sees a lot better than my eyes do. It's a red plate, but it's not an emergency vehicle. This one has an improvised red plate and then a placard of a government agency. But I would tell you have to be very careful because there are a lot of cars running with fake red plates. And, well, I don't want to say too much, but just be very careful. Always verify. And regardless, it's not an emergency vehicle that's meant to be in the bus lane. The common reasoning of the motorcycle riders is, I'm not inside the bus lane. I was just overtaking. Or I was just riding the line. But no, you're really inside the exclusive bus lane. There's the license. I was a little bit worried for a moment there. I thought they managed to slip through, but no, it's been apprehended just like everyone else. That's a marked vehicle of a police officer, so he is actually permitted to be inside the bus lane. And the same goes for emergency vehicles like ambulances, fire trucks, and other law enforcement service vehicles. One of the questions I often hear is, why don't they put an enforcer to protect every inch of the bus lane? Well, imagine north and south, you've got around 40 kilometers of bus lane. And on the flyovers and tunnels, you don't even have barriers. They had to be removed for safety reasons. So just imagine the amount of manpower you would need to protect every inch of the busway. Not only that, but there are multiple openings along the bus lane where there are barriers, so the ambulances, fire trucks, and other emergency vehicles can get in and out. So basically, there's just not enough manpower. And then where does it end? Do you have to put an enforcer on every street that has a one-way sign just to make sure people don't actually go the wrong way? How about traffic light? Does every red traffic light need an enforcer to tell you not to drive through it? My opinion is that increasing the penalties to act as a bigger deterrent, that's what's going to be effective for protecting the bus lane. A nice try. He tried to leave the bus lane, but it's too late. Half his plate is missing also. Same with that one there. He suddenly put on his indicator and pulled out of the bus lane when he saw the enforcers. See, they will all ride the bus lane until they get close, and then they will try to leave because they've seen the enforcers. Bad luck for this guy at the front because 100% he has been noticed and he will be apprehended. There you go, they're guiding him over to the others that are already being ticketed. But that reminds me, someone commented on my YouTube yesterday saying, why don't you allow motorcycles inside the bus lane to maximize its use? Are you serious? These buses are moving hundreds of thousands of commuters while only occupying a single lane on EDSA. Think about that. Cars and motorcycles have 4 or 5 lanes depending on what part of EDSA. And then you're saying let motorcycles into the bus lane when they're only using one lane and they're moving hundreds of thousands of commuters? if your goal is to move people, then the busway works. Don't mess it up, right? Because the moment you let cars and motorcycles enter, it will become just as congested as every other lane. I don't know if you can see on camera, but every single bus is full of people. So how many is that? 50, 60 people per bus? And then you're saying you want to let motorcycles in, maybe even cars, to maximize the space? That will not maximize the space. It will turn the bus lane into every other lane, congested, right? If your goal is to move people, the EDSA bus lane works. Actually, I'm surprised we haven't seen more cars today. Oh, there's another bike with the green t-shirt on the back. He left the bus lane the moment he saw the enforcer. I was about to say I'm surprised we haven't seen more cars, but it depends on which part of the busway you're in. Where is he? Green t-shirt on the back, there he is. I think he's, well... Oh, why did he suddenly accelerate?
Wala ka ng rehistro, magbabiolate ka pa. Anong ini-expect mo? Na pag nahuli ka, tatakbuhan mo na lang?
Tatabi ko lang po, sabi ko nga po, di ba sir, tatabi ko lang po.
So there's his motorcycle on the back of the tow truck, but I noticed there's actually two here. Let me try and ask what happened with this second motorcycle. Wait, that guy in grey, that's the one I saw earlier that ran away. Let me confirm with the enforcer. Yep, he just told me. He chased this along EDSA using his big bike and managed to capture him. My goodness. I wasn't sure if they managed to capture him. That's good news. I saw another rider in the background. I'll highlight him on the screen. I saw him in the bus lane, but I don't know if the enforcer saw him on the bus lane. He's now mixed himself into the middle with other riders. I think maybe it wasn't noticed. Sometimes that's how it goes. There's just too many riders, and as soon as they see an enforcer, they try to hide. Oh, maybe though, look. If he manages, I'll be impressed. Wow. Wow, eagle eyes. That was impressive. I did not think that anyone else had seen him. That rider didn't initially stop. That's why it took a lot more enforcers. I just couldn't get my camera to look the right way. And I'm sorry to say there have been many riders that have either tried to run away today or have run away, and then they've had to send big bikes to chase after them. It's not just one or two, many, time after time after time. That's why usually when you see people enforcing the bus lane, they do it where the barriers are, because it's much easier to catch people when there are barriers compared to when it's open, and then they will try to mix in with the regular traffic. For those who don't know, you should expect some big changes in Ortigas over the coming days, because DOT are doing a trial run or a pilot run. Basically, they're going to make some changes. They're going to widen the center island, or at least simulate a widening, and then they want to enforce the bike lanes and then add another bike lane on the side of Mandaluyong. So expect some big changes, especially around ADB Avenue and that general area. So far here on EDSA, it looks pretty good. Bicycles in the bike lane. But of course, whenever there's traffic, it's also going to be full of motorcycles. That's the reality.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I assume the cyclist is saying thank you for apprehending the motorcycle. I used to ride a bicycle on EDSA, and I stopped because I was constantly being nudged by motorcycle riders weaving in and out of the bike lane. I never fell down, thankfully, but I did see other people that fell down, and the riders never stopped. What surprises me a lot is those riders that keep going even when they see the enforcer. Most of them leave the bike lane, but some of them, they just keep going and going and going, and they're surprised when they get apprehended. I already know there's going to be a lot of people that aren't happy to see bike lane enforcement, but my personal opinion is that as long as there's a bike lane on EDSA, then it should be enforced. If it's not meant to be enforced, then just remove it, right? There was actually a rider that ran away from them a moment ago on a blue motorcycle, but they have his plate number and they're going to submit it for a show cause order with LTO. Imagine that, instead of having a simple ticket for disregarding traffic sign, you now have the original violation plus refusing to stop, running away from enforcers. And then what will happen? You have to go to LTO office, you might have to hire a lawyer, they could suspend your license. All of that for a simple bike lane violation. Maybe when he gets home he'll brag to his friends, I escaped, I got away. Yeah, you did, but they got your plate and they got a video of what you did. So now you're facing a much bigger headache. You could have gone home with just a ticket. You could have paid it through Gcash and then enjoyed the weekend. Now, well, sayang, you have a stressful situation to deal with. It looks like one of the apprehended riders wants to get a selfie with Bong. It's not actually that unusual. There's a lot of people that say, I watch you, I support what you're doing on the road. I mean, to be fair, everybody makes mistakes. There is no such thing as a perfect driver. If you say you've never broken a rule on the road, it'd be very hard to believe. And as always, you'll see a lot of taxis parked here at the MRT. There are a lot of signs here that say no parking, no loading, unloading anytime. So it's pretty much impossible that are unaware. This is also a hot spot for hubble, illegal motorcycle taxis. I did actually see some, but they're on the private property. And this is not the first time that they've towed away a car for parking next to this fire hydrant. You're actually not allowed to park within 4 meters of a fire hydrant. The good news is the driver arrived. The bad news is they'd already started pulling it on the truck, and he said it's his second time. I kind of feel bad for him, but then at the same time, it's a fire hydrant, and if you already got towed before, I guess you know, right? This vehicle here is going to be towed away for parking on the corner. As you know, you're not allowed to park on the corner. That's why they paint it like that, to remind you. He's trying to leave again. Look at him. Oh my gosh. He just... My goodness, I knew it. I knew it with that guy. You might face the PMP now for what you did. You just injured the enforcer. Did you get hurt? There's one more car being pulled off the sidewalk here. According to the enforcer, it's the second time.